Hello everybody, I'm Tofu and today we're going to be doing a campsite build on my jungle island of Tanglewood. So let's just jump into it. Cue the relaxing music. So I firstly put a bridge in place and then also moved my campsite into the desired area that I wanted it to be. As you can see, I have already done the terraforming, marked the paths and done the waterscaping, made the river. As it was such a large area, I thought you wouldn't want to see me basically fill an entire acre worth of cliff and then mess around with the waterscaping tool because I'm not very good at it. After placing the campsite and the bridge down and obviously making sure that everything was paid for, etc, etc, I moved on to the area surrounding the ramp. Mostly because I already had the items in my inventory, so it was all kind of ready to go anyway. As before, I've marked down the positions that I want the trees using the little green dots just so that I know where to put everything and what I want to do. Initially I did have a different idea in my head for the main kind of body of the campsite. However, I changed my mind basically last second and decided that I wanted to try and incorporate the river and have a bridge, make it a little bit more kind of scenic. And this was definitely one of my more unorganised builds that I've done. The previous two that I've done on this channel, there was a lot more kind of organisation. I did the trees first, I then kind of move on to the bushes, weeds, glow moss, things like that, and then use the items at the end. This was a lot more kind of chaotic and I end up editing out a lot of times me running back and forth trying to get more trees, plants, things like that. Here I'm putting down a bridge design. I really like the use of land bridges, but when I do try and make them in my builds, I try and make it so that it looks like it's actually going over a river. I don't generally like it when it just looks like it's going over like more kind of usable space. So here I've moved on to the, I guess, main body of the camp build. I'm trying to put trees down. Initially, the very first tree I tried putting down, to be honest, I thought it was going to be too close to the bridge, but I thought I'd try it anyway. It doesn't work, and I end up putting something there. I think it's off camera actually, just after I've done all this recording, but I'll show it off at the end. As per usual with any of my builds on this island, I try and mix up all the kind of tree like variants and put in a few different sized trees, so like a stunted growth, and then obviously keep it stunted by planting the fruit besides it, just to kind of really mix everything up and give that kind of lush feeling that you would expect a jungle to have. So this was one of those moments where I horribly underestimated the amount of trees and things that I needed. So, power of editing, suddenly I've got loads of trees back in my inventory. I'm not really sure why I picked up that many bushes to start with. I knew I always like to put the trees down because it gives me a nice kind of indication of where everything's going to go, and then what items I can put down, what I'm going to use in the space. But for some reason I picked up a load of bushes, so I think that kind of threw me. Like I said, it was quite unorganised compared to the last ones. So now I make a start on putting down bushes, glow moss, various weeds, just to kind of flesh out a little bit of the areas, certainly around the tree. Here I fix the pathing that was around the bridge. So guys, if you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe and hit the like button. It really does help me out, and it does an absolute solid for me. And of course, it lets me know that you like this kind of content and encourages me to do more. As per usual with any of the builds that I've done so far on this island, I don't really have any kind of real plans when it comes to things like bushes, weeds, glow moss or flowers. I just kind of go with what's right at the time. I follow my heart. This is where I start to put down various items. As you can see by my lack of able to find the various items that I actually want, you can tell how unorganised this really was. Really, I should have put everything in order as to where I wanted it in the various areas, so like around the campsite, around this kind of like little space in the top right. But no, I just threw everything in. So this was mostly the big change that I had. Initially I had the campsite kind of in the middle of this big almost like square area, and then I was going to put items down like kids' tents, seating areas, all kind of surrounding the main campsite. But I wanted the campsite to have its own kind of space, feel like its own entity. And then I've made this little kind of, I guess, courtyard for want of a better word, to place the kids' tents, make this kind of feel like its own little separate area that's kind of surrounded by trees, a lot more kind of jungle-like. And then I just wanted to put down like an RV camper style kind of design, just because it's fun. Does it make sense? Not really, but like I said, it's fun, so I did it. I really do like that campsite sign from the Pocket Camp. They're the Pocket Camp exclusive items, so if you get to a certain point in that the Pocket Camp app, then you can download various items to use on your island. That's definitely by far my favourite one. And now I'm just going around filling in the spaces with more weeds, more glow moss, and obviously various other items. And I have to run to that storage shed quite a few times just to pick up various items that I want. So on my previous islands I never really used these the grass or the hedge standees. I always thought they were kind of a bit silly looking, but I've come to really like them. Like, I think it really works well in this kind of lush, overgrown kind of build. They just make a nice contrast to the kind of grass or the various weeds, and obviously when you put them in the spring or the summer setting you can get the slightly lighter or dark variations. I think it really works well. This is just more placing down of items and weeds. Eventually I get onto the flowers and just kind of fill the space, make it feel like it's very kind of overgrown, a lot more kind of lush, and a few splashes of colour as well. I really need to step up my game when it comes to duplicating the flowers that I've got. I'm absolutely fine with the green mums, the blue hyacinths and the white cosmos. Well, you can buy cosmos in seed packets, so that's not the issue. The purple windflowers are the ones that's causing me all the kind of grief, because I just don't have enough of them. I should really put like the beautiful ordnance on so that they can breed like crazy, and then I'll turn it off when I've got enough, but what can I say? I'm just lazy, I guess. So I'm getting close to the end of the build now, so I'm placing down things like green leaf piles and the wheat, just trying to really give that kind of overgrown feel. I want everything to kind of feel really kind of like wild, and like the jungle's just kind of done its own thing in this build, and just the island in general. And this is where I struggle with vines for way longer than I would probably like to admit. I just couldn't get it to go onto the wall for some reason. I like placing down the gyroids. I think they just give that nice kind of like hint of movement when you walk by. Just makes it a little bit more interesting. So I really wanted a kind of fence to be behind the kind of campsite, just kind of make it feel slightly more enclosed. I ended up using the climbing walls. I think if you turn them round, they make like a really good looking kind of almost wooden fence, like with all these different panels. It was really tricky getting them into the place I actually wanted, because obviously I've only got that one kind of small space, and if you got too close they would then kind of overlap. And yeah, I then had to run forward, make sure that it was actually in the position I wanted. It wasn't, so I had to move it again, and then I go and double check, and it gives me the kind of desired effect that I wanted, and I'm very happy with it in the end. Just doing the last few touches, like a few items here and there, putting a few more vines, and then we'll move on to the big reveal, I suppose. So there we have it, guys. That was my campsite build for my jungle themed island of Tanglewood. Hopefully you enjoyed everything I did. Obviously there's a few areas that I've left just kind of bare for the moment, so this space next to the kind of entrance ramp, if you will, and the beach on the right hand side, I plan to, I guess, do designing for those, but in a bit more of a chill way, so I'll kind of combine it with a little bit of gameplay, maybe do like the bug off, maybe a fishing tournament, something like that. But overall I'm really kind of happy with how the design of the campsite kind of came out. I think it's very scenic, certainly at this part. Hopefully you agree with me. But yeah, I'm really pleased, and I really enjoy how this little kind of rest areas came out as well. As for questions that you might have as far as how the RV camper van kind of got here, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer for. That's all I can say about that. Anyway, as some of the more keenly eyed viewers might have noticed, we actually have a visitor at the campsite. That just happened to be accidental when I skipped forward the day to make sure that the bridge was in properly. So let's have a gander and see who it is, shall we? Oh, it's Marcel, I think. He's not bad, he's alright. I guess, is he meant to be like a mime dog? Pretty sure he's lazy though, right? I mean, he's not bad, but I don't know if I would have him on the island. I know that obviously I've got a spare plot I could buy, but I'd want to save it for someone really special if they're going to turn up at the campsite. So, okay guys, I guess I will end today's episode there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much if you watched it all the way through. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Obviously if you like the video, please hit like, and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. Cheers, have a good one, and I'll see you next time. See you later.